Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ. And up next, we have Wayne's son saying that he wrote for Drake. Shout out to Hello Yassine for the video. And I can't blame or fault Wayne's kids for defending their pops, but those two have definitely written for each other over the course of their careers, and you can hear it across a multitude of records. But I'm also sure Wayne has written for most of the people that have passed through Young Money, at the very least hooks, which is obviously less frowned upon than getting full records written by somebody else, which has been the case for Drake on numerous occasions. And we definitely have the reference tracks to back that up. And as a pop artist, you can obviously do that. I mean, Dr. Dre really doesn't have a pen of his own, with him obviously opting for the route of using writers. He has tons of classic material, and while obviously one of the biggest icons of hip hop, he'll never be put in the category of best rapper of all time, unless the list is just trying to gain some rage bait. So while it's very commonplace for pop artists to call yourself best rapper or lyricist of all time, it's going to be a major no-no. I know Wayne right now is getting cooked for this last project, the Carter 6, but he's obviously heard the bad reviews and has been adding better songs. And I definitely think him not having the same team from those classic albums of past definitely hurt him, because at the end of the day, the dude can still rap, but the wrong or even worse, bad production can tank a project. So I really think he should find a dope executive producer that's not his engineer slash manager. I mean, it would be pretty awesome if he got together with Manny Fresh for a full project and not just a song here and there. But enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into the video, where we have Lil Wayne's son saying that he wrote for Drake. And regardless of the writing allegations, the cosign alone helped Drake so much, because I don't think most Drake stans remember how Drake was perceived early on, even cornier than many people see him now. Those wheelchair Jimmy jokes and comments were rampant.
But what's popping, y'all? Lil Wayne's kids are the level of delusional that I think we hope all our children.
Kind of unfair to call them delusional right off the bat, because who knows if Lil Wayne isn't the one telling them all this directly. At the end of the day, that's their pops. And I'm pretty sure hearing it directly from the source is probably going to be the biggest argument for any of this stuff being true.
Children are when it comes to supporting our work. Now, the Carter 6 dropped recently. Classic series. People want to say Carter 3 was the last classic. I'm not in
Carter 5 was pretty dope. I feel like he felt rejuvenated during that album.
agreement there. Carter 2 for sure classic. Carter 3 for sure classic.
I really like Carter 1 as well, but Carter 2 is really when he became like a superstar.
I'm willing to venture as far as to say Carter 5 may also be a classic.
Yeah.
Not going to get into that
It's
argument.
a fire
here, though.
album.
I already filmed and edited a video, or recorded and edited a video on my thoughts on Carter 6. That'll be down below. If you haven't seen that already, you can check that out. But
I think the biggest factor was just having no clear direction, and having a competent executive producer would have definitely helped.
with this, it's his kids starting off with Reginae, and then we'll get into Lil Novi, who said some of the wildest things I've ever heard. And they're both defending him, but one is just, yeah.
I don't know if I can agree to that with some of the things that have been said just this year alone from other people in just entertainment.
I wouldn't say he's capping, but he's far beyond delusional. So let's start off with Reginae, which is Lil Wayne's daughter. She's the one that was dating YFN Lucci. So we're going to roll that clip first.
Carter 6, you said Carter 6 is trash. That's fine. That's what you want to say. But let me tell you something about my father and Carter 6. This is what I hate about you kids. The fact that y'all can get on TikTok and do a fucking dance to it, that don't mean that it's trash, babe. Okay?
That shouldn't be a fair barometer to an album being fire, because there's a time and place for honestly all genres and styles of music. But at the end of the day, I don't think the argument was ever that he can't rap. I feel like that's the only positive thing that people are saying about this album. It's the production. The production was a miss. Like I said in the intro, I'm pretty sure he understands that as well, because he's been adding bonus songs that have been doing the project's name a little more justice, but still doesn't deserve to be part of the Carter series.
Get on TikTok and do a little viral moment for it. That don't mean that it's trash, babe. My dad was talking real shit. It's stuff on that album that you can hear in 2K, in games, at malls, at all times.
I'll say this, I have homies that have their music in 2K as well. Obviously, Lil Wayne being the legacy artist that he is, it's not going to be too hard to get his music included in a soundtrack like that. But I don't think Reginae understands that the real review, that most of the conversation is being had by people that have been fans of his for over 20 years now. I mean, me, myself, I've been a fan since what, like 2003, 2004? Lil Wayne back then, for honestly quite a few years, was probably the hottest rapper out. The dude was literally torching every beat he jumped on. As soon as you heard that lighter flicker, that song wasn't yours anymore. And obviously, due to many reasons, he kind of regressed. A lot of it obviously being to his own doing. But at the end of the day, I don't think anyone is saying that he can't rap. But that production and just like the overall direction of the album, it wasn't it.
type of stuff. It's universal, my love. Y'all need to take y'all minds out of the TikTok world and get to the real bag. Whereas my dad is a lyricist, babe. My dad really. So if you can't understand it, please move silent like the GM was on here. Get the thanks. Now that's my last song. Because I already said that I'm not about to be cussing because y'all already heard me cussing crazy. And y'all was like, wait a minute, I didn't know that they talk like that. So hold up. I'm just trying to tell y'all, don't be playing. I don't play about them parents. It's just like I got so good though because like I really did calm down. Like y'all know I used to tweet everybody and be at everybody's back like when they talk about
we all remember.
parents. But I'm like, what? I let it, whatever. But it's like sometimes you have to put yourself in our shoes. Yeah, we are in the industry, and yeah, people are gonna speak on you. People are gonna whatever you put out there. But it's like we are still humans at the end of the day. We all bleed the same.
Of course, but the thing is, once you're putting your art out there for public consumption, you're opening it up not only to praise, but to criticism. And for somebody like Lil Wayne, he's going to drop a lot of either or, depending on who you ask. Whether fair or unfair, it's honestly part of the game.
It's gonna be red, both of us. So it's like, yes, I know the life that I have, and I know the life that I'm a part of, and I know that people are gonna hate. I know that people gonna have their own opinions and all of that type of stuff. But you gotta also know that I'm human like you. So put yourself in my shoes. But you got 100 million people just talking crazy. You never even met them a day in your life.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Your opinion is going to be heard 1,000 times louder because you do have the platform.
And then they talking crazy about your people. And you got a chance to speak on it, to directly speak on it. Like, not go on no internet about it, directly to the motherfucker. I'm going to do that every time. But I'm not actually, because I'm not.
You're on the internet right now.
I'm actually going to just pray about it and really.
See, we got to pick a couple of things apart. Now, Reginae has a point where a lot of people, they're just looking for some song, like a Travis Scott song, not something that they can necessarily dance to on TikTok. And Reginae, doesn't she fall under?
I don't think that's what most Lil Wayne fans are looking for at all. At the end of the day, Lil Wayne has already cultivated and built a massive following, so he doesn't have to cater to so he doesn't have to really cater to the TikTok crowd. It's not like his records haven't been used in TikToks before. He probably just needs an executive producer. Like I said, it would be awesome to see him link up with like Manny Fresh for an entire album.
That generation where they grew up on TikTok. I don't even know what Reginae. Oh no, actually Reginae is 26. No, she didn't really grow up on the TikTok age. Well, she did, like she was in her, but she was already in her 20s. She wasn't like a young teen, preteen consuming TikTok. So she was probably more the YouTube era. So I get where she's coming from with this. But the thing is, you somewhat need that. Like Tootsie Slide, Drake made that specifically for TikTok. But how well is Tootsie Slide streaming now in comparison to all of Drake's other number ones?
Or truly doesn't have the longevity that the other records have.
It seemed like it had its time. I don't know if people still play that song. I have not gone back to that song in a very long time. And I thought it was a good song, but it feels like it was for that specific moment, and it's not something you go back to. Like a God's Plan, for instance. Man, we're going to be going back to that for forever. Even like what do you call it? In My Feelings, songs like that, but those are far different from what Drake dropped with Tootsie Slide. Now, as for Wayne, she's got a point in saying that, like, yo, there's music for everything. Wayne is talking his talk on this project. The problem is the project just doesn't sound cohesive and good. Now, I will say it's...
And Lil Wayne isn't the only artist to have gotten this type of feedback. Nas, for a long time, was getting the same type of feedback. And I feel like a lot of it comes from the fact that these elite rappers, the guys that can rap their ass off, honestly can rap on anything. And because of that, they will rap on anything. And sometimes that doesn't make for the best song, even though they're probably barring the record up. But that doesn't make for a complete record.
Overhated, and Reginae has been somebody that is always defending her pops. Like, she used to argue with people back and forth on Twitter whenever Wayne dropped a project, whether it was a tape, whether it was an album, whether he doesn't really drop singles like that. It could have been a verse. And that's another thing too. Like, Wayne is killing verses in the past several years.
That feature with Cordae was fire. And then he has that song with Premier and I want to say Nas and Rick Ross. That was as well. So it's not like I said, the guy can't rap, but have you noticed that it's usually on these features that probably have a little more clear, direct vision? So at the end of the day, that's where I feel like the disconnect is coming from.
It's just so much more of a difficult task. That's why when people try to say like, yo, Wayne is washed, not really. He's not
He can
washed.
rap.
He's still killing verses. That means he's still got the skill up. He just needs to pair up with the right producer or executive producer to bring the executive producer's vision to life. I think that's the person that
But what you're seeing doesn't get that it's not just the executive producer. The executive producer has to like understand what the rapper is capable of and also tell their story as well, because I feel like the best art is art that people can relate to. And that's the stuff that truly has longevity. Because there has definitely been projects that executive producers have ruined because they saw nothing but their own vision.
the vision for the album. Wayne is
Collaborative
just like
thing.
an ultimate nuclear weapon that you've got to launch in at the right time and the right place. Of course, not in real life. Lil Novi, though, who is Lil Wayne's son, he came out with one of the craziest takes. And Lil Novi also appeared. He's a rapper.
I haven't heard one of his records, but he seems like an auto-tune rapper. Just like his pops at times, actually.
Wayne's project alongside Cameron Carter, who's Wayne's other son. I thought Wayne only had 2 kids. I didn't know he had a third. Cameron is the younger one, and Lil Novi was on the song. Granted, Cameron Carter's song with Wayne is outstreaming Lil Novi by several 100,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we've got going on there.
Obviously, people are connecting with the Cameron Carter feature a lot more, even though the biggest factor is they probably like Lil Wayne's verse and Lil Wayne's part better on Rari. The Moolah Coming In song, honestly, was not a very good song, so I see why it's being outstreamed.
But let me play you guys that clip from him first.
Be honest, who's better, Lil Wayne or Drake?
Lil Wayne. My dad wrote most of the shit, so I mean, on God, like if it wasn't for my pops, then it wouldn't be no Drake. Like for real. I mean, it probably would be a Drake, but
His career would have turned out very differently. He more than likely still would have blew up because his trajectory was definitely on the upward. But like I said in the intro, you can't downplay the cosign from Lil Wayne. Because back then, even Shorties was clowning him for being corny.
he wouldn't be where he at now.
All right, I will say off rip, that Moolah Coming In song, Wayne carried. Wayne carried like crazy, man. I don't really think
That's pretty much always the case when Lil Wayne is around.
Lil Novi really belonged on that song. It seems like still growing as a rapper. Now, did I like Cameron Carter or Novi better? I don't know. Just watch the video. I gave my thoughts on that. However, Wayne writing for anybody is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. And this is coming from somebody that I wouldn't say I've accused Drake. I've correctly assessed Drake as using writers in the past, and I definitely rank Wayne higher than Drake overall. But if we're keeping it a buck, we heard that She Will reference track. That was heartbreaking. That day, I just sat, turned off the lights, and it was kind of like that SpongeBob meme where like nose drop.
That's more of a sing-songy record. Like I said, some of those early collaborations definitely have a very Lil Wayne feel when it came to the hooks.
Drops and it's really long, and I just stared. I just looked down. I was heartbroken that day, and that's the only thing that we saw. Granted, Wayne doesn't write, so how would he be writing for Drake? And we know
Future doesn't write either, but he's written for people like Beyonce, fam. At the end of the day, he does write, but his style is a little differently. He's not writing bar for bar in like a notebook. That's just not his method, just like it's not Jay's method. And honestly, they kind of started a dangerous trend because everyone now believes that they can just freestyle and just punch in literally every other bar. And for most people, all that leaves is just a jumbled mess. And there's even rumors that have been around for a very long time that R. Kelly can barely read and write. So what these artists go and do, they literally just go and freestyle and use their method to create these reference tracks for the target artist to go and then record their own version. So I don't think that Yasin truly understands that there are multiple methods to write a record.
what Wayne bars sound like. So there's no way that Wayne was writing anything for Drake, because then Wayne would be able to pen smash hits. Well, Wayne can't sing to the
This guy has to be like 20-something years old because Lil Wayne was a hit maker. The disrespect. Honestly, the last few years have kind of colored people's like perception of Lil Wayne because of the drug use and like the really bad performances. Yeah, a lot of the stuff has been misses, but you can't say that the dude hasn't penned smash hits when he has a multitude of them.
same extent that Drake can, but you guys get the idea. It's far more likely that Drake wrote for Wayne because Drake has wrote for many other artists. Drake has written for Ye. I don't know if Drake has written for Travis, but a lot of people, Drake has written for Dre. Nothing really
Bieber
came out of that though. And Drake has written for, I think, Alicia Keys, pop stars, etc. So Drake is a writer. He's got a pen, despite the fact that he uses writers as well. So that
So wouldn't that make the argument believable?
Would be the more likely scenario, although I don't think Drake wrote much for Wayne. When it comes to bars, hell no. Now, but what I think Lil Novi was trying to get across is that, and he said it at the end, is that Drake wouldn't be here without Wayne, which is a fact. Like, Wayne bringing him under the Young Money, Cash Money umbrella in a time, and this is just goes to show Wayne's open-mindedness in hip-hop. Like, when Wayne first
The guy also had pop artists like Jay Sean around him. He's always been open-minded. I mean, the dude was literally trying to play guitar very badly, but he was trying to do things very, very differently. Even this, he had a whole era where he was trying to become a legitimate skater in like his later 20s.
started skating, people were clowning it. Like, yeah, Lupe Fiasco did Kick Push and all that, but
Honestly, he may have been early 30s by that point.
Lupe Fiasco was never the #1 rapper in the game. And people tried to come at him for that and say he was like lame and corny.
But the guy does have 2 smash hit records that didn't just top the rap charts. He was a pop star too.
The song Kick Push. But when Lil Wayne, who was the coolest
Superstar,
rapper, like
fam.
he's doing all that blood stuff, he starts wearing tight jeans and skateboarding, that breaks things on another level. Like, Lil Wayne was the biggest rapper in the world at that point. And of course, like, the rest of the world doesn't really care. But in the US,
Face
like, people are looking
tattoos.
at him like, yo, that's weird. Why is he doing that? And then when he goes rock and does Rebirth and starts playing the guitar and doing that type of music, people are like, yo, what are you doing? What is this? This guy's from New Orleans. He's a blood. He's with Birdman, the big blood. And now he went to the skateboarding thing. Now he's doing the rock thing. So also when he found Drake, it's similar. You got to think, like, this guy's singing. He's from Canada. He doesn't look like anybody that's popping or really successful in hip hop, but I'm going to bring him underneath me anyway. Like, he stuck his neck out to bring Drake underneath him because he saw the talent that Drake had.
At this point, I feel like he had like 20 artists signed to Young Money, and only 2 of them really ever did anything major, long term anyway.
I do think Drake has a deep appreciation for that, but I think that's more of what Lil Novi's trying to get at. But Lil Novi was like an infant when this was going on, and I'm not too sure if he like looked through the history
He doesn't have to look through, and more than likely, he's getting it firsthand from Wayne himself.
of that relationship to really be able to come to this conclusion. But I think it's a good.
And at the end of the day, he could be lying his ass off. But I wouldn't deem it 100% false because there has been tons of allegations and facts surrounding Drake using ghostwriters and writers, period.
It's good stuff like this to get you attention as Lil Novi, because I've seen his music get attention as well. Now, they're not gassing it, but he's bubbling up. I would say he makes more
Nepotism.
of this kind of underground, hyper pop-ish, Lil Wayne inspired a little bit. You can feel some of that in Lil Novi's music. So he's somebody that's really grinding right now. But yeah, the whole Wayne writing for Drake, I don't believe Wayne wrote a single verse for Drake or a hook ever. I'd be shocked.
I can't listen to this anymore. Guys, everyone takes hooks. At the end of the day, most artists aren't going to deny a hit hook if they hear it. A verse, that's different, obviously. Some artists will use the verse without even changing a word. Maybe they'll change the name in it. But to 100% say that Wayne has never written anything for Drake, I think that would be a stretch. I mean, I wouldn't die on that hill. There's plenty of videos during that era of Drake literally praising the way that Wayne made his music. The fact that he was so prolific at that time, and probably now, he said that, yeah, there's no way I can do what Lil Wayne does. Lil Wayne wasn't just some underground rapper. I mean, this guy even said himself, he was the hottest rapper at the time. He had smash hits. Those hooks were fire, you know what I mean? A lot of those records he was doing in 15 minutes. Look at a record like Mrs. Officer that he literally made in 15, 20 minutes with Bobby V. And he did probably all of the writing. For this guy to say that he couldn't possibly write something for Drake is totally erroneous. And if I truly had to bet on it, I would probably bet that, yeah, he more than likely did write something for them. I can't call the kids delusional when more than likely they are just speaking things that were said to them directly from Wayne. You're seeing is acting like these guys have no relationship with their dad. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it's possible that Lil Wayne wrote anything for Drake? I don't see how you can say no, especially with the way the industry works and honestly has always worked. Definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys so much for continuing to make this channel a part of your day. It honestly means the world to me, and all the love and support that you guys continue to show on the daily is overwhelming and probably the biggest reason why I make these videos. So I really want to thank all those that have been joining the YouTube memberships. A very big thank you to all those that have been donating via Super Thanks, because it truly goes a long way in supporting the channel. And again, I want to let you guys know how grateful I am for all of it and all the dialogue you add to the conversation. So I'm definitely looking forward to what you guys have to say on this topic. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. I don't understand how this guy can possibly say he could never see Lil Wayne writing for anybody. Guys, Future has written for tons of people, and honestly, they make music basically the same way.